Okay, well here's something I don't get to do every day, is a tin of Cornell and Diehl bright Virginia ribbon, 2 ounce. I'm going to open it up. How exciting is that? Let's see, what does it say? High grade, old belt, golden Virginias, sweet with just a hint of citrus. Because of a naturally high sugar content and relatively low presence of oil, this bright leaf makes both fine companion to a burley and a dandy smoke all on its own. Well, I get this primarily to mix. I smoke through a lot of the Virginias, the straight Virginias and burley that I bought just to get a taste for those straight tobaccos and to make a few of my own blends. So this is just good to have on hand. One sec. Okay, well apologies, I heard a dog and I had to adjust the focus or something. What am I doing? Well, I was opening this tin, wasn't I? Plastic lid off. You see, we always get tobacco oddly packaged in Australia, so this is like a tin of cat food, really. Yeah, I've had this ribbon packaged obviously from bulk. It's always been very dry. All the single tobacco blending mixes, I guess you call them, I've had from C&D, I imagine are repackaged bulk from tobacconists and tobacco distributors in Australia. So it's good to actually do a comparison. I mean, I hear people talk about the tin being different from the bulk, so this will be a good look. I think moisture would be the biggest difference. Alright, I'm going to crack the seal. Oh, nice kiss. Pull it back. So we've got Cornell and Diehl vintage blends. Oh, that smells very different from the bulk. Selected hand blended tobaccos for the discriminating smoker. Well, I don't know about that. In this day and age, to discriminate's a thing. Yeah, that's quite pleasant. That's a lot more aroma than the bulk that I've got. I mean, this is moist, probably as moist as it's a firm cake. It's a ribbon cut, obviously. Yeah, less vinegary. Definitely classic Virginia smell. I'm gonna say like a sultana. Not quite raisins, like. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a different beast as compared to the bulk that I've had to smoke, which was very dry, even though that was good. Okay, we'll see how that goes. I'll smoke some by itself and I'll do some blends, but really I wanted to smoke some of this 1792 Flake. I bought a few flakes recently. I mean, look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful looking flake. Now I've heard this spoken about as being very strong, almost unbearably strong smelling. It's a Kentucky, I guess a dark-fired Kentucky Virginia blend, supposedly pressed into a 12-inch by 12-inch cake and steamed, and then steamed for 2 hours and then pressed again under steam again, or some. It's quite an extensive process to make a compressed flake tobacco. Not extensive, but you know. And then it's cased with their Tonquin Essence. Now, as far as I know, Tonquin Essence, I'm just going to rub some of this out now for a pack of pipe, is based on tonka bean, which is also known as Tonquin Bean, as in Tonquin. But from I've smoked a few bowls of this, and from my experience, I don't think that Tonquin is exactly Tonquin Bean alone. I mean, Lakeland essences that's characteristic of, I guess, Lakeland tobaccos, Gawith, been described as soapy, perfumey, flowery. I was reading about some older British tobaccos today, and I saw mention of flakes flavoured with rose geranium oil and geranium oil. So in my take, I mean, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say that this flavouring on this is actually a mixture of aromas and flavours or perfumes or herbal essences. I mean, obviously there's tonka bean in it. Doesn't smell like vanilla. It smells a lot like what you'd expect a dark fired tobacco to smell like. I guess there's the vaguest hint of that dry fruit aroma there, but to me it smells a lot like a rope tobacco, a lot like those, I guess, dark fired, even some of the English shag tobaccos like Old Holman. I guess to Australians, most people would probably recognise White Ox as close as I could get. It's definitely got that dark, smoky aroma to the tobacco. I'm giving this a pretty vigorous rub, and I mean that's not double entendre. I've had this open for a while, so it came quite moist. I wouldn't say over moist. I'd say probably perfectly moist. So it's right about there now. I mean it's well, rubbing out, deflaking, whatever you want to call it, quite nicely. I'm not going to go overboard. And to continue with the double entendre, I've been smoking my own pipe almost exclusively. I find with these flakes, I mean, pack them how you want them. Get a loose draw on them. I mean, I'm probably only I'm not going to pack a huge bowl of this. Not that this pipe's ever going to have a huge bowl in it, but I mean, I've seen, this tobacco has a reputation as being overpowering, as being a nicotine beast, making people want to end their lives or regurgitate their lunch or something along those lines. But yeah, I can see. I mean, if you're used to smoking mild aromatics and I guess milder Virginias and such, you might think that, but I mean, there's no doubt this is strong tobacco. But I mean, that essence, it's an aromatic. To me, like, I'm getting, I mean, it must primarily be that Tonquin essence. It's not vanilla. I'm getting, it's rose geranium, geraniol, and supposedly the primary element of Tonquin or Tonka bean, it's volatile oil, or the compound which is responsible for most of its flavour is coumarin, which is supposed to have a vanilla-like, slightly spicy flavour. And yeah, anyway, I'll be looking for that in other foods and see where it sits with this tobacco, because to me, as I said, it has a strong floral aroma to me. Definitely not overpowering, but that's the primary aromatic scent that I'm getting. Under that, I'm getting a smokiness, I guess, from the dark fired, and yeah, perhaps a little bit of that raisiny, fruitcakey element from what must be quite dark Virginias. I think any of the lightness in that flake appears to be, well, pretty much stem material. I mean, this is pretty close to black. Anyway, I'm gonna char it up. On the initial draw, well, on the charring light there, you know, quite an airy, hot smoke. I'm getting very similar to the Gawith and Hogarth rope that I smoked recently. Very different from the chocolate flake, and I think what I'm tasting right now is a dark Virginia, or a dark brown Virginia. I could almost swear there was a hint of Oriental in there. Or could that just be the smoke from the dark fire? Hard to say at this point, but yeah. I mean, that's a strong flavour. I've immediately got a little bit of a bitterness in my throat. This is a mouthpiece for my iron bark that I just took a little too far. And the crack in the bottom, it's just unacceptable. It can probably be cut down and used for something else, but yeah, it's a shame. It matched the pipe quite nicely. And I cut pieces off it. It did match better, but that's essentially what it was. I still haven't finished that pipe. I'm going to have some time to do these things. My outside work's calmed down for a while. I need to tamp this. What should I use? Gosh, I've done it again. Because it's not. Precision screwdriver. The room note on that? White oak cigarette. Strong cigar. Perfume. The spiciness there, definitely. Almost reminiscent of a Turkish tobacco. There's an element there, floral there perhaps. It reminds me of what was one of my favourite tobaccos, which is in Old Dublin, which is the only... No, I don't think it's the only place I smoked it. In the Peterson Old Dublin is Basma, which is supposed to have a floral tobacco. I really like that. I'm going to have to get some more of that soon. Definitely a recommended English, well, Oriental English Balkan smoke. Yeah, an almost geranium rose, almost rose watery element to it. a lot of ways, I suppose I could liken this to a strong English, well, Balkan, Oriental forward in terms of its overall robustness and flavour. Definitely different flavour tones, but yeah, I mean, it's in the same ballpark. I think the English and the Balkans are woodsier and lighter, sweeter on the palate, whereas these have that more of that cigar-y, dark cigarette, dry, savoury character. It's pretty good. I don't think it's really that strong. I mean, admittedly, I'm only part of the way through the bowl, but I mean, the way people talk about this, it's like if, you know, yeah, I just think it's down to subjectivity. I mean, it's definitely not a... It's not a simple smoke, and at the same time, I guess it is. Very cool burning. You know, as I'm getting into this, it's almost a black pepper. At times I get that wood or that Turkish, Oriental Turkish tobacco note. Yeah, I don't understand how people can think that this is anything much stronger than a good strong English. In a lot of ways, the rope that I smoked was stronger. I think that peppery element that this tobacco has is probably what fools people into thinking that it's stronger than it is. Or maybe they're not fooled. Maybe I'm the fool. I know I'm the fool. It's very satisfying. Transitions through different flavours, and different flavours come out at different times. I mean, it's definitely strong. It's definitely one of the stronger tobaccos out there. I'll give people that. But I don't think strong as in harsh. I just think it's strong. I mean, it's just a powerful flavour. I mean, it does tend to flatten out and become more singular as you go down the bowl, but to me it actually becomes a little bit sweeter, a little more complex, which is sort of counterintuitive. Anyway, I won't talk too much about this. I'm going to go through a few more flakes. I got some Sam's Flake, some Luxury Navy Flake, Stokkebye Luxury Navy Flake. I can't remember which others. I also got some Stokkebye Optimum, another one of their aromatics. I find them all to be very similar. I mean, I was going to smoke some of the pistachio. I tried the nougat. And to me, I didn't think it was worth really doing a review on. I mean, it was very similar to the nougat. I just had where there was definitely a, I mean, in the pouch or the tin, the bag, it was almost that almond essence, I guess pistachio note to it, and it did come through a little in the smoke, but it was very much in the same alley as the nougat. I think the two together would be quite good, but I suppose the nougat probably had the edge on it. Like I said, much the same tobacco. Very good. I mean, I liked it. I'm not putting it down or saying it was boring. I'd smoke either of them almost interchangeably. Yeah, having stopped and said that, I think the Tonquin definitely adds an element to the room note here. It's definitely, there's a strong dark fired tobacco smell in the air, but I mean, there is some incense in the house. I did smell it the other day wafting. Not burning, just sitting. Good incense, but yeah, there's definitely a floral, perfumey aroma on the air now. Anyway, look, I'm not going to talk anymore. I would definitely recommend trying this. It's I don't think it's anywhere near the beast that people make it out to be. I mean, it's definitely, if you want to try a strong tobacco, definitely smoke some of this. It's up there with the strongest. I mean, although I smoked some straight Cornell and Diehl burley ribbon the other day, now that, I mean, this has something about the mouthfeel, but that was a strong smoke. So I guess, you know, horses for courses, apples, oranges, opinions. Yeah, but definitely try this. It's an experience, one you'd have to try. I mean, maybe the nicotine's a thing for people. I don't feel it. I mean, I think possibly tobaccos like this, well, not so much the flakes, but definitely the ropes, were probably meant to be chewed as much as smoked, so I think those flavourings would come across very differently. I mean, I chewed some of the Gawith and Hogarth rum rope, and yeah, I mean, it's not unpleasant. I couldn't taste rum in it. Yeah, it's not tobacco chewing's. I mean, it's alright. It's not for me. It's too expensive for me. That's the other thing. I think I'd rather have a pipe, yeah. But it does definitely get stronger as it goes down the bowl. I mean, it's getting a smokiness. It's not an ashiness, but it does get an element of, you know, a cigar ashiness to it, I suppose. But given all other things, I mean, this pipe's performing admirably. I've had a few more bowls through it. I'll finish my other ones. I really want to smoke that ironbark. I was mucking around with it last night, but I should have pulled my finger out and got it done, but I didn't. But yeah, I mean, this is handling it well. And I've smoked that many blends and varieties in this. I mean, this pipe definitely doesn't ghost. I mean, I think much like a corn cob, maybe it's the light timber. I've been cleaning it regularly. I mean, not overly so, just enough to keep it clean. I mean, it's chambered. It's got the aluminium tenon in it. I guess that's quite a long shank. Yeah, I don't know. There again, I suppose, apart from that one pipe of mine, which somebody had smoked cherry in, you know, a really strong cherry flavoured tobacco in. I haven't noted ghosting on many of my pipes. I guess you can tell when you've smoked an English in a pipe, where you get straight Virginias and stuff. You can tell if you've recently smoked those in them, but Yeah, anyway, regardless, I'd say this one performs at least equivalent to a corn cob in terms of ghosting. I mean, I don't think there are any pipes immune to ghosting. Anyway, I'll leave it with that. I've been meaning to do some more specific addressing people in certain situations at times, but yeah, I'm not going to get around to that. And yeah, I'm going to say this is a 4 out of 5 tobacco, if not a 5 out of 5, just because it's straight up there in the league of, yeah, an experience, an icon. So have a good one.